The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is October 12th, 2020. This is episode 254, and today, Soylent Scream. And for the second time today, I am your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz. Welcome to the podcast where we love Jesus, we love you, we try to love ourselves, and even harder, try to love our enemies. We are a bunch of Bereans here. Acts 17:11. You know what it is.
Whoa, bro.
You know what it is.
Okay, well, here we are. We're back. For those who are watching live, this is our second try. We think we solved some problems, but it turns out seems like all of Southern California, I think maybe just California is pulling some, China internet slowdown operation on the whole state.
Just the whole state.
We're trying to. The whole state's been slowing down, but we'll see. We fiddled some knobs and pressed some buttons. We'll see if that helps. But we're back, Gonz. We did it. We made it another weekend. It's another Monday.
Yes, and if this all goes bad for you live viewers out there, make sure to go to CanaryCryNewsTalk.com, and you can listen to it there, or you can, I guess afterwards. You can listen to the clean audio version, or go to your podcast listening device app, whatever it is, and look up Canary Cry News Talk, and you'll find us there. And you'll get a much cleaner version of it instead of this choppy live nonsense.
Yeah, much better sound quality, and almost every episode, the podcast version is posted the same day as the live show, so you don't miss a thing. But we're glad we're working here. I see, YouTube's back, Twitch is back. I think this is going to be good, Gonz. I think we're going to be okay. You're getting closer to adding another samurai baby to the roster over there, huh?
Yes. Yeah. We'll see.
Any updates?
Other than wife in pain? No.
Have you decided?
Uh-oh.
Who yet?
You cut out for a second. What did you say?
I said, have you decided officially, did the wife agree to name your new child Basil 2? The Basil name?
Yeah, I flew that by her, and I was met with a flying fork coming at my head. So I had to dodge.
Weird. I thought
George
she'd be
Bush.
okay with that.
Yeah, she wasn't too stoked about that one, but yeah. What are you going to do?
The shoe dodge.
Yeah, the shoe dodge.
George Bush shoe dodge. Well, okay. Well, you can't blame me for trying. One of these days, somebody will name their cat or their child or something Basil 2, the Basiling.
Gosh.
But today is not that day.
No, it's not. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's see here. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else to say. I'm trying to think if I have any updates. Oh, yeah. Well, this is worth mentioning for the live viewers. Like I mentioned, this was our second try at the live show. We had some trouble on the first go around, but it turned out to be not the worst thing in the world. Apparently, I had gotten a call during the 4 minutes that we were trying to do the show that first time.
Right.
And since we stopped the show and rebooted, did some things, I had a chance to call that person back. And that was very important. It was a very time-sensitive thing and would have made the day pretty bad for that person if I did not call them back. So it worked out okay in the end.
Maybe it was God throttling our internet, just so you can take care of your things over there.
That's right. God in the machine. But speaking of that, Deus Ex Machina, we might as well hit the Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's the Flippy update. And if this is your first time listening to the show, Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. That's right. We talk about these robot arms as a proxy conversation just to talk about how robotics and AI are taking over the world and there's nothing we can do about it. And today, Gons, we're coming from dailymail.co.uk, so you know it's good. And the headline article reads, would you trust a robot with your colonoscopy? Scientists invent a mechanical arm that uses a probe and a magnet, in all caps, to check for colorectal cancer in quote-unquote less painful procedure. All right, so they're getting these Flippies. Last week, we had Flippy doing dental procedures going in one side. Now we're checking out what they can do on the other side here. The article reads, an AI-powered robotic arm can perform less painful colonoscopies to check for bowel cancer by using a magnet to externally steer a camera probe through the gut. The system, from a team led from Leeds, could prove to be the first major update in decades to the procedure, which used some 100,000 times each year in the UK. In a colonoscopy, a long, thin camera-ended probe is passed through the rectum and colon to hunt for and remove abnormalities and take tissue samples. The examination can be uncomfortable for the patient and requires highly skilled doctors to be performed, limiting the availability of the procedure. The artificially intelligent system, however, will aid less experienced doctors and nurses in safely guiding the probe to precise locations within the colon. Patient trials using the system could begin as early as next year. Colonoscopy gives doctors a window into the world hidden deep, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we know what colonoscopies are. So there you go. Long story short, Gons, Flippy is coming in from every door. Luckily, this robot arm, as you can see in the picture here, doesn't actually do the probing. It's more of a robot arm with a giant magnet that hovers over your torso and uses that magnet to steer a little probe on the inside. So I think less painful is probably an accurate description. Less humiliating might also be an accurate description.
I don't know. Do you swallow the magnet, or does it go up the other way too?
I don't know. And to be honest, Gons, I'm okay not knowing that information. I think I read just about as much of this as we need to get the picture, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm getting close to that age where this whole thing is supposed to happen. I'm not looking forward to it.
I was going to ask if you had done this mandatory procedure yet.
No,
okay.
Not even close.
An emphatic no.
Emphatic
from
no.
Gonzo there.
And not looking forward to that doctor's appointment there. Hopefully they have. No. They have. If I see the arm, I'll have my robot stun gun, and I'll just shut it down quietly from my pocket. And I'll be like, no, not going to happen.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, there's some very interesting pictures. One of them is they are performing, Flippy and the doctor are performing the procedure on what looks to be like a dead pig in probably the most disturbing picture I've ever seen. So I'm just going to skip right past that. But there you go, man. Flippy is literally everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know why Will Smith just popped up on my screen. Is he supposed to make me feel a bit better about this procedure?
Will Smith? I don't know. Is that an ad or something you got?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, probably,
Will Smith pushing the robot magnet colonoscopy arm. Don't worry,
there you go.
Guys.
Well, there, that's it for the Flippy update. I don't want to get any more graphic than that.
Yeah, we got issues. Okay. Some quick updates here.
We interrupt this broadcast to give you a brief update. By the end of this timely interruption, you will be thoroughly updated.
33 is the number of completion of the Great War.
We have a couple 33 updates. The first one was sent to us by some listeners. And
yes, this was a big one. I saw this one all over the place.
Yeah, so this is the last Trump virtual conference. And in big letters a couple times, 33 speakers. The last Trump virtual prophecy conference, 33 of today's top Bible prophecy teachers.
Wow.
And
wow,
on the list,
guys.
Yeah. On the list includes Gary Stearman, Jonathan Cahn, Bill Salas, L.A. Marzulli, Tom Horn, Randall Price, Bill Koenig, Billy Crone, and Brent Miller Jr. The only one I had never heard of is Brent Miller Jr. Other than that, familiar names if you
Yeah.
I guess swim around
We've
in the Bible
interviewed a
prophet.
lot of these people. A lot of these people have been on CanaryCryRadio.
Yeah, a good handful of them.
So what's the deal? Are we in the Illuminati now, Gons? Is that what this is? Are they just having fun? I mean, we have fun with 33.
Yeah.
We use it more to mock the Illuminati dog whistle, but
I
what
don't
the
know.
heck?
It's weird because
They're very proud of it. It is featured on all of the material in like big red lettering.
Yeah, and the other part of it too, the last Trump virtual conference, making it sound kind of like a Trump conference. It's almost like its own version
Right.
of NLP. It's like, oh, this will get all the Trump supporters on there and the Freemasons.
Right. Obviously, they're referring to the last trumpet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is in the book of the Revelation, referring to some end time stuff, but looks like they're trying to make a very specific connection to Trump and 33 speakers.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I wonder who's actually behind the conference, who organized it. The coming rapture and the future of America. Yeah, I mean, okay. I guess it looks fairly pre-trib. I mean, based on the individuals highlighted here. Although I think L.A. Marzulli has called himself pan-trib. Tom Horn.
I was going to say we should call up Marzulli, see what the deal is, get the scoop.
In fact, I think
and
I have
I'm
his number.
offended they didn't ask us to help spread the word.
Well, you know why that is.
Because they know we're onto them.
No, I think I was rounded up as not cool enough to be part of the prophecy, guru crew or something. When I talked about a couple different issues, and if Gary Stearman is on this list, he's a very highly regarded individual in the older circles there of prophecy talking, and I think some of the topics I've discussed.
Prophecy talking.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know for a fact that there were some videos I published a few years ago that got me in quote unquote trouble with the likes of Gary Stearman.
Oh yeah.
The quote I heard was what the heck is Gons doing? Was the quote from, not from Gary Stearman, but someone associated there.
What was it? What was it about? What'd you do?
The Star of Renfam, the Jewish star, the hexagram deception video.
Yes,
they didn't like that. They didn't because they're super. Yeah, they're very pro-Israel.
You can't question anything about Israel, Gonzo.
I know, I did it. I'm sorry.
That?
I kicked one of the pillars of the circuit, and they kicked me out, along with a bunch of other people. So I still respect all these men for what they do in terms of their research and preaching Christ in the unique ways that they do. But we don't always agree on all the details of the doctrine, and but I do have some. I mean, it's got to be like a dog whistle of their own. Like, yeah, let's do 33 speakers.
Yeah, it's a 40-day conference, which is pretty crazy, I guess. I mean, I guess in this new normal, you can just pull stuff like that off. But
I'm wondering how much it costs. Must be pretty. I mean, it's already open, October 1st through November 9th. So
they're having to give honorariums to 33 speakers. So I'm sure it wasn't cheap.
That's very true. Yeah. I forget about honorariums. I should probably ask a few of the
because we don't get very many of them.
I know. Yeah, I've given them though. The conferences I've organized, I've handed out honorariums to some of these men on this list right here. Okay,
I've never actually gotten an honorarium. I don't think so.
Really?
I'm trying to think. I don't want to misspeak because if I have gotten an honorarium, I don't want to I don't want to besmirch it, but I can't recall ever receiving one for any of my participation in things.
I think the one conference that we did where you would have received it, it was revoked for your silly antics.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I can't remember if it was or not revoked. It was a long time ago.
It was a while
anyways,
ago.
there you go. 33 alerts.
Some emails to send people.
Very interesting. I wonder if they're getting any guff for this.
Probably not. They're going to get a bunch of Canary Cry listeners, at the conference. Like, what's the deal with the 33 speakers?
Yeah, don't make them mad at us, guys.
They already
these
hate
are
us.
our colleagues.
Yeah. And the other guy, Bill Koenig, on this list. I had lunch with him one time, and I took a picture with him. And that picture of just having lunch with the man one time has put me on a list of like, look at Gons as a shill. He had lunch with Bill Koenig. So yeah, that was also the luncheon where the late, he's passed away now, Kenton B. Shore Sr. told me that I want to be in hell because I don't believe in pre-tribulation rapture. So that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
There was a time where we were, and again, I have a lot of respect for everybody doing this research, and especially some of the, I say this lovingly, some of the old timers, I do not despise the fact that most of them never took me seriously. That's actually kind of a win in my book. Where was I going with this? I forget. But yeah, anyways, we're not in the club anymore. That's okay, though. We got our own club.
We got to make it our own club, our own 33 virtue signaling.
Our own 33.
33 is the number of completion of the Great War.
Here's another 33 update that I thought was very interesting. I never heard of this company before. This is Yahoo Finance. 33 Finance and American Express launched the first American Express prepaid card in Hong Kong. Now that Hong Kong is taken over by the communists. Hong Kong, October 12th, 33 Finance has partnered with American Express to launch the 33 Finance American Express prepaid card in Hong Kong. And, whatever, the prepaid card. But I wanted to look up, what is this 33 Finance? So you go to 33finance.com and everyth's in Chinese. So let me see if I can pull it in English here. I think I can.
Try to do the Google Translate.
Yeah, I think there's a button here to turn it into English. So I'm
sounds like
it.
Some sort of bank or bank adjacent, financial products company.
One of the things about the whole New World Order system is that, and we've talked about this before, how it was much easier to establish the foundations of it through a country like China. Because of the fact that, their whole system was sort of set up for like a scientific dictatorship anyway, limiting the number of children and stuff like that. That's all New World Order stuff. And because of the fact that there's an information blockade or like just a filter that people receive, in terms of mainstream information with the propaganda machine over there, a lot less people would discover the signaling going on, like a lot of like the New World Order, Freemasonic connections and all that kind of stuff. So it would make sense that, a Chinese-driven company has all kinds of occult symbolism, not the least of which, and I know you've heard of this company, Basil, but there's a company over there called, here it is, Babel Finance. Have you heard of Babel Finance? I think we've talked about it before.
No, I don't remember Babel Finance. No.
Oh, their whole logo is like this tower. It's the Babel, like the Tower of Babel Tower.
Oh,
and
look at it.
The whole deal.
It's even kind of like a ziggurat.
It's a ziggurat. It's a whole ziggurat, and they're sort of like like an investment firm, but also like people can give their money to them, and they'll invest it into all kinds of different assets, including cryptocurrencies. And I think they were called out for doing some financial hanky-panky a couple weeks ago. That would be a big problem. But yeah, I mean, again, much more blatant over there. Babel Finance works with a company called I think it's called City of Zion. And one of their big cryptocurrency projects over there is called Neo. That's created by City of Zion, which has connections to Babel. So, I mean, okay.
It's kind of funny. I could see like Western-based, Illuminati members like, oh, looks like Hong Kong's trying. Oh my gosh. They're being too blatant. It's 33 funny. Are you serious? Guys, come on. You're supposed to do it like kind of secretly. Don't put the ziggurat on the. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, something like that. Sure. I'm
Who
sure
knows?
that's exactly how the conversation went. But there you go. Those are a couple of the 33 updates.
Great.
We always talk about the number 33 as Illuminati dog whistle. So there you go.
That's right.
And here's another quick update.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
Are you ready to become cyborg?
We always try to find articles that you can share with your normie friends if they question the idea of certain topics. For example, the New World Order. This is sciencefocus.com, and this is the home of BBC Science Focus magazine. And the headline here, today's digital tech doesn't replace human interaction, and that will lead to innovation. And subtitle, the disruption COVID-19 has brought to the internet will bring about a new world order that will be greater than anything ever invented before.
Oh, wow.
Super amped about the New World Order.
Greater than anything ever invented before.
I mean, okay. All right, BBC Science. The article was interesting. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it talked about this idea of in 1993 when AOL, American Online, sent out CDs to every household in America. And that was when America started to jump online, right? And this was called, I didn't know this was called the Eternal September. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. So this was the beginning of what became known as the Eternal September, locked into online lore as the moment when everything changed. The elders were replaced by newbies, rules were bulldozed, and the old ways didn't matter anymore. It was the original disruption in the new technology, and the internet that most people know now was born. So that was the Eternal September. And now this article claims that COVID-19, particularly in April, is the same type of disruption that we had in 1993 with Eternal September. And it says here, less than 5 years after the Eternal September turned the old internet on its head, we had new systems of search, Google, commerce, Amazon, and social networking, 6 degrees. The seeds for the dysfunctional internet we lived in pre-COVID were sown by newbies. The eternal April will bring disruptions that the rest of us can't imagine. And newbies will invent a new world order of their own that will be greater than anything ever invented before. So there you go. Eternal April was the big turning point for the elite to bring about the next phase of the New World Order. And that's according to their own words over there at sciencefocus.com.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think April is really when, we got to spend the first few months of COVID like being like, oh my gosh, they're going to use this to da-da-da-da, and it's going to change things because they're going to grab this power and not let go, and then they're going to institute this and this. And then it only took a couple months for all of it to start happening, and we're like, oh no. Oh, we're here.
Okay, here
right
it is.
now. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Basil's True Love asking there's no New World Order jingle. I mean, we played one. We have 2 of them. We had this one here that we played.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
It's Adam Curry there of No Agenda. We also have this one from George Bush.
A new world order can emerge.
It was 1991, I think. So, yeah, I mean, this is all part of the order of things. But, this is a great article to share with friends and family and be like, okay, if you didn't think that the internet, all of it is part of disrupting the norm to create a new world order, well, here you go. Here's Alex Krotowski over at Science Focus writing for the home of BBC Science, mentioning just that. It's a new world order.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! We're here. We made it. Yay! Oh boy! All right, here's a waccine update.
Waccine.
You know, I love it when environmentalists and anti-vaccine people can come together. This is WUSF.org. The coronavirus vaccine could kill 500,000 sharks. Conservationists warn. Oh, yeah. I'll read some of this.
Vaccine's going to kill all the sharks?
Well, just hold up. Okay. A conservation group is warning that the development of an effective coronavirus vaccine on a global scale could ravage shark populations worldwide as researchers race to produce a vaccine using an oil derived from sharks. Squalene, I think it's squalene, a compound that is harvested from the livers of sharks, is a common moisturizing ingredient in cosmetics. It's also used in malaria and flu vaccines as an agent to boost the immune system's response. Shark Allies, a nonprofit that advocates for the protection of sharks, projects that some 500,000 sharks could be killed if a coronavirus vaccine with shark squalene proves to be effective. Already an estimated 2.7 million sharks are killed annually for their squalene to make cosmetics, according to the group. Quote, the problem is that squalene used as an ingredient in the COVID-19 vaccine will be seen as something that's unavoidable, and then as it becomes tested, it becomes the normal ingredient, and nothing else will be tested, Shark Allies Executive Director Stephanie Brendel told NPR Weekly Edition Saturday. And it goes on with some other things about the vaccine there, but main point,
wow.
I'm glad the Shark Allies and the anti-vax people can come together now and fight against this New World Order nonsense going on. They have a better method though. Our thing is like, a bunch of people going, it's the mark of the beast. And then these guys are saying, you're killing the sharks. And I feel like the killing the sharks is more effective for the normie.
Oh yeah. How do you, that's great. I don't know anything about shark oil industries. Are there shark farms, do you think, or do these all have to be wild caught sharks?
I have no idea. There must be some kind of black market shark trade. I don't know. There's got to be. There's probably some like pirate out there that's got like a shark farm, like
pirate.
Using some some crypto on the dark web to sell you some shark liver.
Michael A. on YouTube says, I guess the master witch said they need shark oil in the vax.
Oh,
it does seem kind of like a witch's brew.
Yeah.
Oil of shark.
Yeah.
Wow.
So interesting angle there.
I wonder what it takes to get into the shark farming business.
I don't know. It's
curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah,
well, that was a good one. Poor sharks, man.
It sounds like either witches or like some kind of Chinese ingredient too. Like, what's gonna make this work? Shark liver oil.
Eastern medicine. You get some rhino horn for your male vitality and some shark oil for your COVID resistance.
Exactly.
What was I gonna say? I forget. Let's keep going.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Pandemic special.
Pandemic special.
CRISPR. Cas9.
This is kind of a Called It article.
Called it.
New high-speed COVID-19 test can detect the virus in just 5 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we've always known that CRISPR was going to be used as just a springboard for all kinds of COVID stuff. But here it says researchers have developed in quotes elegant new test that could tell if you have coronavirus in just 5 minutes. The diagnostic does not require expensive lab equipment, meaning it could potentially be rolled out for use in schools, workplaces, and doctors' offices. A team of American scientists led by Dr. Jennifer Doudna, who won a share of the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry this week, have come up with a way to detect the virus using CRISPR gene editing technology. The test is far faster than current diagnostics, which can take 24 hours or more to return a result, and experts say it's looking promising. Quote, It looks like they have a really rock-solid test, says Max Wilson, a molecular biologist at the University of California, Santa Barbara. He added, it's really quite elegant. I don't know why. It just sounds like this guy was paid to say some stuff, or like he had like a gun to his head or something. The new diagnostic works even more quickly than one developed in May, also using CRISPR technology that was able to detect the virus in an hour. And then it gets into what CRISPR does. And basically, when the binding happens, fluorescent particles are released. Lasers are then shown on the sample, and if it lights up, it indicates the virus is present. And it's a similar, amplifying RNA type of test that they got going. And, I wonder how it differs from some of the PCR testing finagling that we've been reading about. If this is also equally as, manipulatable. Is that a word? Manipulatable?
It's a cool sound, whatever. If it's not a word, it was a cool thing to say.
Manipulatable, type of data set there.
Yeah.
But
no, this is interesting. I don't actually know anything about this particular test. So this is going to take some further look. I mean, we know the PCR test works. We know the problems with using PCR tests and how it's been manipulated. And I'm curious. I don't know how this this CRISPR one works, and we'll have to look more into it.
It's crazy because
it's another one on the list of things to look into.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the time to get tested, it was a couple days or a couple weeks or something. Then it was like, oh, we can do it in an hour, and now it's 5 minutes, and eventually it's going to reverse time, and it'll be like, we can tell the future. We will know if, and especially with the sewage test.
Positive yesterday.
Yeah, or tomorrow.
Yeah.
You will test positive tomorrow.
Tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually not funny. That's probably true.
That's true with the whole sewage
test
surveillance thing that we've been talking about. Yeah. So combine all that, and we're in a heap of New World Order trouble. One
That's
more
right.
quick story. You got something else on that?
No, not on that. No.
Okay.
Do your thing. I'll say it after this.
One more quick story here.
Artificial intelligence.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
This is a People Zoo story. dailystar.co.uk. AI will become Earth's dominant life form and keep humans, quote, like we keep plants.
Oh, no.
Artificial intelligence. Yeah. AI will one day keep human beings around in the same way we keep plants, a scientist has claimed. James Lovelock, the veteran environmentalist best known to the wider public for his influential Gaia theory, says that while artificial intelligence will inevitably become the dominant form of life on Earth, AIs will want to keep us around, quote, like we keep plants in gardens, end quote. In his latest book, Novacine, Lovelock predicts that the thinking machines of the future, quote, will have designed and built themselves from the artificial intelligence systems we have already constructed. These self-replicating artificial intelligences will quickly evolve until they become, quote, thousands, then millions of times more intelligent than us, he added. Nothing new on that front.
So
but
he basically watched The Matrix.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
He just watched The Matrix and then made it into a scientific paper.
Yeah, but he said that nothing to be afraid of, pointing out that computers, like humans, are threatened by climate change. So,
good.
So keeping the planet habitable will be as important to them as it is to us. Quote, by remarkable chance, it happens that the upper temperature of both organic and electronic life on the ocean planet Earth are almost identical and close to 50 degrees Celsius. The Novacine, Lovelock says, represents the next history. And then it goes into some other stuff there. But yeah, that's, I think and it mentions Elon, of course. But yeah, the reason why we named the episode, or at least I came up with the title here of Soylent Scream, is because, of course, the movie Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows about Soylent Green. Do you know what year Soylent Green was based in?
No, I do not know.
2022.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Here's the plot. In the year 2022, the cumulative effects of overpopulation, pollution, and some apparent climate catastrophe have caused severe worldwide shortages of food, water, and housing. There are 40 million people in New York City alone, and only the city's elite can afford spacious apartments, clean water, and natural food. And even then, at horrendously high prices, the homes of the elite usually include concubines who are referred to as furniture and serve the tenants as slaves. And of course, the big punchline at the end of the movie is that they're eating people. And, you know, I wanted to, man, it's weird because there is like a flippening in terms of a biblical principle here. And I refer back to Jeremiah 2, verse 21. And in Jeremiah 2, it says, yet I planted you, let's do King James. Yet I planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? And it's just weird how the vine is in reference to Israel and like the lineage of Israel and all that kind of stuff. And just humanity in general, like God's chosen. And it's just a very strange analogy when you think about Soylent Green and how now this guy over here is saying, James Lovelock saying that, hey, humans are going to be like plants. It's got a weird twist to the whole idea that God sees us as vine, you know, and you know, all the New Testament stuff with, Jesus talking about the vine and being close to the water and stuff like that. It's just interesting how the concept of AI taking over sparks similar thoughts as how God sees us humans. And
that is very
interesting parallel there. So
I also do want to point out when you were talking about Soylent Green happening in 2022, and you know, you're talking about when you were describing it or you were reading the synopsis or whatever, I'm like, oh wow, that sounds exactly like today. And then you mentioned the people furniture.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, we still got a step to go. But Basil's True Love in the chat says Wayfair conspiracy furniture.
That's why
good call, Basil's True Love.
That's why the chat is here. They're here to connect dots where we overlook them.
I know, that's
a community
nice.
effort.
Instead of having live fact checkers, we have live dot connectors.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
Our producers.
I did want to mention to you, Gons, before we move on, you know, producership was quite low today until we started the show. I just happened to be checking the email after we started the show, and it looks like some people were reminded to come in and become producers during the show. So I want to thank all of the brand new producers who, you know, jumped on the show and became producers during the show. And there's still room for more, but thank you to those. We'll be thanking you producers later on in the show.
Thank you for that.
Okay. We ready? I moved some things around, Gons, if you look into our doc.
Yes, I see it.
And you can veto my moves if you want, or I'll just go for it.
I think it makes sense.
I think so too. I'm ready.
The race wars.
Race wars? Race war.
I've warned you and warned you and warned you.
NSA-style hybrid war psyops.
That's right, folks. Oh, thanks. I stepped on that one, but it's so true. We reported on Friday. We brought you the story about the alleged quote-unquote kidnapping plot going on in Michigan of the Michigan governor. And we should have pulled the clip, Gons, just to prove it. But if you heard that show, you remember I made an interesting connection live on the show. It had not occurred to me that until that moment when we're kidnapping plot. it is, they were trying to make it sound like it was white supremacists, but there were some little clues there, and I just sort of blurted out that it sounded more like Antifa than, a constitutional militia. And then this came out, Gons, yesterday. And I first read it in Washington Post, but we're going to take it from the Washington Examiner because it focuses in a little bit more on the issue. And here we go. It's titled, "Man Accused of Hatching Plot to Kidnap Whitmer is BLM Supporter and Made Comments Critical of Police." Booyah.
You were right.
One of the men accused of... I know, man. It's the second thing we've been right about. First, sewage surveillance, and then secondly, we might have been one of the first people to get suspicious that this sounded more like Black Lives Matter rioters than it did a militia. But let's read on. Let's see how we look here. One of the men accused of hatching a plot to abduct Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer attended a Black Lives Matter rally this summer. Quote, "One of the alleged plotters, 23-year-old Daniel Harris, attended a Black Lives Matter protest in June, telling the Oakland County Times he was upset about the killing of George Floyd and police violence. Harris told the Oakland County Times that Floyd's death was a shame and made comments critical of law enforcement official. Quote, "It is a shame of what happened with George Floyd and instances where law enforcement officers murder an unarmed man, woman who isn't resisting arrest, was complying with orders is wrong and need to be stopped. You look at photos and videos of news teams and protesters being beaten by riot police when they are there peacefully. You see people losing their eyes because of an officer shoots them with a, quote, non-lethal round like pepper balls or rubber bullets," he said at the time. Quote, "I've gone through that sort of training, and I can promise you weapons like that can turn into a lethal round." Quote, "We went to the BLM protest yesterday in Lake Orion to show our support that everyone's voice should be heard no matter the color of your skin. Protesting is important to me because it gives us all a voice to be heard," he added. Harris is a former Marine who is living in his parents' home and working as a construction worker. He was arrested last week for and charged federally with conspiring to kidnap the Democratic governor ahead of election next month. He, quote, "He served in the Marines from 18 to 22 years old and just got out a year ago in June." Harris's lawyer, Parker Douglas, told the media a total of 6 men have been charged federally in the plot. 7 additional men associated with the group Wolverine Watchmen were charged in state court for planning to storm the Michigan Capitol building and inciting a civil war. Whitmer accused President Trump of issuing a rallying cry that helped motivate the men to hatch the plot to kidnap her and overthrow the state's government. Quote, "Just last week, the President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these 2 Michigan militia groups. Stand back and stand by," he told them. "Stand back and stand by." Hate groups heard the president's words not as a rebuke, but as a rallying cry, as a call to action, Whitmer said. Yes, because nothing shouts call to action like, "Don't take any action." Continuing on, "When the leaders speak, their words matter. They carry weight. When our leaders meet with, encourage, and fraternize with domestic terrorists, they legitimize their actions and they are complicit," she said. Trump fired back that he does not, quote, "tolerate any extreme violence." Quote, "Governor Whitmer of Michigan has done a terrible job," the president tweeted Thursday. "She locked down her state for everyone except her husband's boating activities. The federal government provided tremendous help to the great people of Michigan." Quote, continues, "My Justice Department and federal law enforcement announced today that they foiled a dangerous plot against the governor of Michigan. Rather than say thank you, she calls me a white supremacist." While Biden and Democrats refuse to condemn Antifa, anarchists, looters, and mobs that burn down Democrat-run cities, he continued, "I do not tolerate any extreme violence," Trump said. "Defending all Americans, even those who oppose and attack me, is what I will always do as your president. Governor Whitmer, open up your state, open up your school, open up your churches." So there you go. There's a lot of, now to be fair, I will be fair. They didn't quite say that this Daniel Harris was an Antifa member. But remember, when you were talking about the 6-week cycle, the FBI basically entrapment cycle, the FBI had people infiltrate the group and attend meetings and things like that. They kept mentioning over and over and over that they were planning on using Molotov cocktails, which is a favored weapon of Antifa and other rioting groups, which was a little bit of a tip-off. Of course, you look at the just to remind everybody, you look at the mug shots of all these guys. It looks like a deep fake AI created their faces, but like they turned the redneck dial up a little bit more than usual. But one of these guys does have the big, huge gauged earlobes, which is a little bit more of a signifier, I'd say, just a social cue of, a liberal. It's more of like an Oregonian, Seattleite type of thing.
You're trying to associate people the way they look with regions of the country. Is that what you're doing?
I am
statist.
I'm what is the word?
Discriminating.
Yes, I guess not discriminate. Profiling. I'm profiling. But that's what that mugshot lineup was. They were trying to profile all these white, Midwest guys as being, obviously these guys are militiamen. But at least two of them, if you go to the original Washington Post article, at least two of those guys were very emphatic Black Lives Matter supporters. And on their YouTube channels and stuff, they would have anarchy flags hanging behind their heads and stuff like that. So this is not necessarily as cut and dry white supremacist militia as originally it was reported.
Yeah, and there's no way to know which one the informants were. Publicly, they could say like, "Oh, we have 7 of them or 8 of them were arrested," or there's different numbers. Some people saying 11 of the 13 being convicted and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw some more. 5 of the 13 were actually FBI informants.
Yeah, I heard 7 too. So I mean, who knows? That's
Yeah.
a lot. That's a lot of FBI informants.
It's like 13. Half the group. How can you have half of the entire group as FBI informants?
I mean, it's almost like there was just a whole bunch of rogue FBI agents like trying to put together like this militia thing. And they're like, oh, shoot, we got caught. Let's just call it a sting, and flip it all around.
And I'm seeing some reminders. I do want to be clear. Antifa isn't properly Black Lives Matter. They're totally separate things. And there is no evidence that any of these guys were properly Antifa at all. But because that is what I said. But when I was trying to analyze the situation. So just to be clear, there's no evidence that they're actually Antifa members, but a bunch of them were going to attending emphatically Black Lives Matter protests. How can they be white supremacists if they're, protesting on behalf of Black Lives Matter?
Yep. I mean, this is part of the course.
Yeah,
more divide and conquer.
We got to keep that FBI funding rolling. It's also a good point. Yeah, Whitmer trying to, make this a orange man bad situation. It was the federal government that saved her. Like,
right.
Okay, we get it. You don't like the orange man. It's okay to not like the orange man, but we don't need to be making stuff up.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? People make stuff up.
Nothing. I will do nothing.
You will do nothing.
I will do nothing in protest. All right. That's it. Just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention.
Okay.
That I called it.
That you called it. Wonderful. You're so intelligent.
You. Oh, my gosh. Are you listening, people? I've been waiting my whole life to hear this from Gons.
Yeah. Although there's a little sarcasm flavor going on as well.
Oh, come on. I know.
All
right. What's our next story?
Our next story has to do with the voter fraud situation, sort of, kind of flipped around. And we have a jingle, a producer sent jingle from David to get us into the story.
And so my question is very direct. Is voting by mail secure? No.
Real quick, I do want to mention Isaiah 42:14 make a great point in the chat. When did the political affiliation of criminals become so relevant? Anybody know who Dahmer voted for?
It's
2020. Of course, everybody's political affiliation is relevant, he said sarcastically.
Dahmer voted for Trump, obviously. It's probably in his little manifesto there.
Yeah.
It's like, I support Trump. Like, people didn't know what it meant until 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, what? Why do you mean
he
the guy
is a
from
time
Home Alone
traveler
too?
Yeah. That was edited out on the show.
Was he? They edited him out?
They edited him out when they rebroadcast Home Alone 2 on like CBS or NBC or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was a big deal. People would complain, we don't understand the plot of the movie anymore. He took out the Trump scene.
You need the Trump scene.
This is ocregister.com, my neck of the woods here. Unofficial ballot drop boxes popping up throughout the elections officials. Hold on.
Unofficial,
Hold on. I read the title, edited title. Unofficial ballot drop boxes popping up throughout the state worry elections officials. Yeah, this is a longer title there. Okay, here's what it says. In a photo posted to social media last week, a young man wearing a mask with Orange County congressional candidate Michelle Steele's name on it is holding a mail ballot and giving a thumbs up next to a box about the size of a file cabinet labeled Official Ballot Drop-Off Box. The post from Jordan Ty, T-Y-G-H, or Tiff, Ty, a regional field director for the California Republican Party, encouraged people to message him for, quote, convenient locations to drop their own ballots. The problem, excuse me, I got the burpees here. The problem is that the drop box in the photo is not official, and it could be against the law. The California Secretary of State has received in recent days about possible unauthorized ballot drop boxes in Fresno, Los Angeles, and Orange counties. Agency spokesman Sam Mahood said Sunday evening. Reports place such boxes at local political party offices, candidate headquarters, and churches. Secretary of State Alex Padilla said his office is coordinating with local elections officials to look into the reports. Only county elections officials can oversee ballot drop boxes, choosing the number, location, hours of operation, and other details. County registrars are charged with making sure every box follows strict state guidelines for security, including making sure they can't be tampered with and tracing the chain of custody of all ballots. Quote, operating unofficial ballot drop boxes, especially those misrepresented as official drop boxes, is not just misleading to voters, it's a violation of state law, Padilla said, with a felony conviction carrying a prison sentence of 2 to 4 years. Reports came out Saturday night about a metal box in front of Freedom Ways Baptist Church in Passaic that had a sign matching the one on the Orange County box. The church posted on social media that the box was, quote, approved and bought by the GOP. The post said, brought by the GOP. The post said church officials don't have a key to the box and the GOP officials picks up the ballots. A pastor for the church didn't respond to the request for comment. On its website, the Fresno County Republican Party also shared a list of secure ballot collection locations. None are officially county drop box sites, with the official GOP instead listing its own headquarters, multiple gun shops, and other local businesses.
Nice.
The state is still looking into the source or sources of the boxes, Mahood said. The California Republican Party did not respond to requests for comment about the boxes by deadline, but they've been defending the practice in replies on Twitter, alleging the process was made legal under the 2016 law that allows California voters to designate a person to return their ballot for them. The GOP calls the practice ballot harvesting and blames it for losses to the Democrats in OC and other places in 2018. But state officials clarified that using an unauthorized vote-by-mail box would not meet the requirements of the 2016 law. No designated, quote, person would be signing for the ballots as required by state law. Ty, who tweeted the Orange County Dropbox photo on Thursday, didn't respond to requests for comment. He is listed on Steele's campaign website as part of, quote, Veterans for Michelle Steele, a group supporting her election bid. Steele, a Republican supervisor in Orange County, is challenging Republican Harley Rauda.
Representative
Rauda, or Harley Rauda, a Democrat for the 48th District congressional seat. A Democratic Party operative retweeted Ty's photo on Sunday, alleging the unofficial Dropbox was at Steele's campaign headquarters. Reached Sunday evening, Steele said she was out campaigning and was unaware of whether there were drop boxes at her campaign office. She said she'd check into it and call back, but could not be reached later Sunday night. Orange County Registrar of Voters Neil Kelly said Sunday that hundreds of people alerted him to the possible rogue Dropbox. Some had also sent the same message to the state attorney general and FBI. Quote, what we did was started to look into it, notified the state, and the Secretary of State issued guidance this afternoon that it is illegal and you can't do that, Kelly said. Quote, it would be like me installing a mailbox out on the corner. The post office is the one that installs mailboxes. Kelly said he doesn't have many details, such as where the box in the photo was located or who was responsible for it. He passed the information on to Padilla's office and to Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer. District Attorney spokeswoman Kimberly Ed said Spitzer's office is investigating, but she declined to say where or how many there were or who had placed them. And then, to find official stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, what do you think, Basil? I mean, I have a couple theories on what might be going on here.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any theories, but I do know that if there's unofficial drop boxes being set up, no matter who's setting them up, whether it's Democrat or GOP, that's just not the way. It's like, you can't just do that. I'll set up a drop box.
Yeah. Well, okay. On one hand, I think
to put your dirty COVID money in.
Right. Yeah. I think this could be, as you said, or as you sort of alluded to, it could be one or the other. Well, if it's a Republican group doing this, then they're not very smart. The Republican narrative being, hey, they're going to try to rig the election, so I'm taking it into my own hands and making sure the Republican votes go through, that kind of thing, right?
Right. I can see that mindset,
Right.
If there's already sort of a mania about, especially in California,
yes,
of Democrats tampering with mail-in ballots, that you would just assume that this would be okay to do.
Right. And then on the other end, if it was a Democrat posing as a Republican to do this, it would also make sense to try to make the Republicans look bad or look dumb or whatever it is. So, it's one or the other, or just a really, someone that doesn't know what's going on. But, there was that part. And again, I don't know enough to really make a comment on whether or not this is or isn't. It seems like it doesn't make sense with the whole idea of that law, the 2016 law, suggesting that, there could be some, like a designated person to collect the ballots there.
Right.
But
somebody's got to sign for it.
Right.
Somebody needs to be responsible. You can't just dump them in a box and just say they're legit.
Which is why within the context of a right-left paradigm, I think it would be more likely that this is some kind of Democrat operation or just someone on that side trying to make it look bad.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, trying to make it look bad for Republicans or trying to dupe all the Republicans in California, especially because in California, they talk about the silent majority and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of Republicans in California. I know it's a blue state.
Especially Orange County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
California was flipped a couple years ago. So
if you're going to put your tinfoil hat on, so if you're going to put your tinfoil hat on, like you said, just to sort of reiterate what you said, you can put these boxes out, claim that they're sponsored by the GOP, get all the Republicans to put their ballots in there because they want them to be safe.
Yeah.
You don't want the Democrats to tamper with them. And then, collect all the Republican ballots and throw them in the river. Yeah. That's definitely, I mean, there's no real evidence for that right now, but that would be a tinfoil hat theory to throw out there. And of course, the other side would be Republicans putting up a bunch of voting boxes or ballot receptacles just to see how many Democrat ballots they can gather up and then throw those ones in the river and pass on
that or try to preserve the Republican votes, because if they're thinking that there's some kind of hanky-panky going on, take things into my own hands. And
but if you're taking it from the left perspective, you're assuming that they're dumping the Biden votes in the river.
Sure.
Another thing kind of related to this, I don't have an article with me right now, so actually somebody could probably fact check this for me. But I was just told by a left-leaning person that Amazon Prime Day, Prime Day where you get a bunch of free shipping and a bunch of Amazon stuff is discounted. People look forward to it all year, apparently. Got extended to not just Prime Day, but it's Prime Weeks. And those weeks were lined up directly with mail-in ballot period. And the sort of theory coming from the left was that, Bezos did this to clog up the mailing system and mess with the ballots, because now this person thought it was because they wanted Trump to win, because of course
better tax cuts for rich people.
The allegation is that Republicans hate mail-in ballots and they want to destroy all mail-in ballots so they can win. But the problem is Bezos has been very outwardly critical of Trump. I mean, they're not friends. Trump called Bezos in for monopoly hearings. Like, Bezos and Trump are not necessarily best friends. I don't know. Maybe they came to an agreement. Maybe they came to a deal where, no more monopoly hearings if Bezos clogs up the mail system or something. I don't know. It was just something somebody was talking to me about. I have not verified that Prime Week thing. It wouldn't be hard to do, but there you go.
Well, either way, it seems to be part of the chaos that they're slowly heating up as Election Day gets closer and closer. And especially around here, again, there's Orange County used to be a red area. And then a couple years ago, it flipped. And now when you have like local ballots, when I open my little, I get in the mail, like a local ballot thing, you vote for a Democrat or a Democrat. So it's pretty awesome how that worked out for the Democrats. There's not even a Republican on the voting thing. It's like, oh, which Democrat should I vote for? So I don't vote, it's kind of pointless.
Classic.
But,
Classic. Come on, Gons. You're morally wrong for not voting, so I'm told.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll put in my own name or something, or like your name. I'll put Basil Rosewater. I'll put Rosewater 2020, and then they'll come after you. Why did he get a vote? Either Trump will be there all mad.
Yeah.
Or Kamala, one of the two.
I love that. Yeah, I was going to say, Trump will be there all mad, What? Why?
Who is this? Who is this Rosewater? Go find out who this Rosewater is.
Yeah, no, Trump will be stoked to get me as a third party to come in and take some votes away from whoever needs them taken away. That's what Kanye's for. Haven't you heard?
Oh, is Kanye going to take away the votes from Kamala?
That's the theory. Yeah.
I keep saying Kamala. I know Biden's the one, the puppet running.
No, I think you're right. It's going to be President Kamala. If Nancy Pelosi, it sounds like, we talked about it before, but if Nancy Pelosi gets her 25th Amendment thing, it could be used on Biden as well.
That's a good point in the chat there. It says, Isaiah 42:14, put Jesus or Jesus of Nazareth on everything. What would happen if a bunch of Americans was like fed up with this whole thing and they just put like, Jesus?
Put Jesus of Nazareth. It'd be, show me the birth certificate. He's not born in America. He's a Middle Eastern man.
It's actually true. That would definitely happen.
Hold on. Somebody wrote me a long note. I'm trying to read real quick.
He's not old enough. He's Yes, he is.
He's 33.
He's 33. He's eternally 33.
He's too young. You have to be 35. All right.
Oh,
Let's go to this next story here. This is interesting. How did this get on the list? Let's see what it is.
It's on the list because I put it there.
Yeah.
Anytime you see the four horsemen, it's something special.
A new world order can emerge.
Okie dokie. USnews.com. Facebook bans Holocaust denial distortion posts. Okay, let's see what we got here. Facebook is banning posts that deny or distort the Holocaust and will start directing people to authoritative sources if they search for information about the Nazi genocide. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced the new policy Monday, the latest attempt by the company to take action against conspiracy theories and misinformation ahead of the U.S. presidential election 3 weeks away. The decision comes amid a push by Holocaust survivors around the world who lent their voices to a campaign targeting Zuckerberg beginning this summer, urging him to take action to remove Holocaust denial posts from the social media. I've lost control.
Site.
I'm going to assume that. Yeah, I'm going to assume it says site or something. Coordinated by the Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany, the hashtag No Denying It campaign used Facebook itself to make the survivors' entreaties to Zuckerberg heard, posting one video per day urging him to remove Holocaust-denying groups, pages, and posts as hate speech. The testimonials coincided with an advertising boycott by companies pushing Facebook into taking a stronger stance against various forms of hate speech and extremism around the world. Facebook said Monday that the new policy is, quote, supported by the well-documented rise in anti-Semitism globally and the alarming level of ignorance about the Holocaust, especially among young people. Surveys have shown some younger Americans believe the Holocaust was a myth or has been exaggerated. Tech companies began promising to take a firmer stand against accounts used to promote hate and violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, where a self-described white supremacist drove into a crowd of counter-protesters. Yet, Facebook and other companies have been slower to respond to posts that amplify false information but don't pose an immediate threat of violence or other physical harm. Zuckerberg said in a blog post Monday that he believes the new policy strikes the right balance and isn't acceptable speech. Quote, I've struggled with the tension between standing for free expression and the harm caused by minimizing or denying the horror of the Holocaust, he wrote. My own thinking has evolved as I've seen data showing an increase in anti-Semitic violence, as have our wider policies on hate speech. Zuckerberg had raised the ire of the Claims Conference based in New York and others with comments in 2018 to the tech website Recode that posts denying the Nazi annihilation of 6 million Jews would not necessarily be removed. He said he did not think Holocaust deniers were intentionally getting it wrong, and that as long as posts were not calling for harm or violence, even offensive content should be protected. After an outcry, hold on one second, let me scroll. Oh yeah, we're almost done. After an outcry, Zuckerberg, who is Jewish himself, clarified that while he personally found Holocaust denial deeply offensive, he believed that the best way to fight offensive bad speech is with good speech. The Anti-Defamation League said it was criticized Facebook for taking nearly a decade after the New York-based group first began to publicly call on the company to curb Holocaust denial in 2011. The group, wow, they really stuck with that. 10 years it took them. Mm-hmm. The group tracked more anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. last year than at any time over the past 4 decades and has said it continues to find the Holocaust denial groups on Facebook, some hidden and most private. Quote, while Facebook has made numerous positive changes to its policies since that time, it stubbornly had held on to this outrageous platform policy, even in the face of undeniable threat of growing anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic violence around the world. The group's CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, wrote in a post. The claims conference on Monday said it welcomes Zuckerberg's changed approach and the company's decision to take a very important statement, and it's a building block toward ensuring that this sort of anti-Semitism is not amplified, said Greg Schneider, the group's executive vice president. The group on Sunday posted its 75th video from a Holocaust survivor appealing directly to Zuckerberg. Fred Kurz, an American who was born in Austria in 1937, described losing both of his parents in concentration camps. Zuckerberg never met directly with the group, but Schneider said he believes the voices of survivors and their moral authority made a difference. Quote, honestly, I'm a little surprised it took 75 days, but I'm glad it happened, he said. Facebook said Monday it would immediately begin removing Holocaust denial posts from Facebook and Instagram, which it owns. But it could take some time to train the company's technical systems and human moderators to enforce it on a global scale. No mention of AI. Now we're calling them technical systems. Several other groups that had pushed for Facebook to take a stricter line on Holocaust denial said Monday's move was an important step. Quote, Facebook is showing that it recognizes Holocaust denial for what it truly is, a form of anti-Semitism and therefore hate speech. Ronald Lauder, president of the World Jewish Congress, said in a prepared statement. Okay, so there you go. This seems like a follow-up to, weren't we talking about the polls that came out that just had ridiculously high numbers of young people who had never heard of the Holocaust?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did talk about that a few weeks ago or a few episodes ago. And so it's very interesting how, to me, Zuckerberg somewhat had it right when he sort of, before he was trying to say hey, these people aren't trying to harm, if they're not trying to harm anybody, but then he got pressured into fully going Holocaust. And it goes back to the whole idea of just more censorship, because if you think about it, the power to ban content, they're exercising that power because it threatens some kind of power, right? You wouldn't necessarily ban information that wouldn't be threatening. And, you don't have to be a Holocaust denier, but maybe there's information that a lot of Holocaust denier posts share that would question the epistemological authority of such historical events. And that's what they're trying to avoid. And as I talk about this, I'm noticing that our stream is basically flipping back and forth from 100 kilobytes per second, which doesn't work, to 6,000 kilobytes per second, which is a good stream. And now we're offline. So I guess they don't like us talking about this stuff.
We're just reading a story, man.
Reading a story.
We're going.
No,
we're back. We're back.
Is it?
I'm watching the Twitch right now.
It just keeps saying it's offline on my end.
Yeah, don't trust it, man. We're still going on Twitch over here.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Yeah.
But why should I? Does Facebook prove that you're telling the truth? But
well, what's interesting about this, real quick, just to throw something in there. The interesting thing about this is that formerly Facebook was taking the stance that if it's not violence or does not incite violence, then it would not take anything down. And that's where the fact check alert came from.
Right.
They'll cover it up and say this information is probably false. Our fact checkers find some of this or all of it to be incorrect. And that's what they've been blocking Trump's posts, and that's the
link to wiki articles.
Yeah, where they're not necessarily taking it down, they're just flagging it. And that's sort of been Zuckerberg's way around this whole freedom of speech versus hate speech conversation. Right. So it is interesting. This might be the first time that they've ever fully blocked information that does not necessarily promote violence.
Right.
In fact, it's strange because it's sort of the denial of violence. I'm not really familiar with a whole lot of the Holocaust denial stuff, so I'm kind of
it's
I don't really know what points to hit. I'm not sure what that. I was surprised to hear that such large numbers of people had not heard about the Holocaust or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not even really sure what sort of angle to take on that.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, some of this is the media here. So when they say Holocaust deniers, it's a very broad brush they're painting there, because again, I brought up the questioning some of the epistemological authority of certain historical events, because a lot of the Holocaust deniers, they won't necessarily say that like there weren't concentration. I mean, some people do, but the majority of them that I've seen would suggest that the 6 million number is a little high. They had propaganda before it ever happened that there's going to be 6 million. It's just more of that. Like, it was more used for a propaganda to justify certain things, or they'll even take it further and say, hey, Hitler was actually trying to fight against the New World Order, and to
have heard that.
To paint him the bad guy, they had to have a reason, and the reason is that they framed him or made him sound like a horrific dictator by putting together this whole Holocaust event and that sort of thing. So those are some of the points that you would see. But again, it's one of those issues where if people weren't afraid, like what is wrong with people having like even if it's a distorted opinion about history, there shouldn't be a
Zuckerberg
threat.
was saying. You should fight it. You should fight it with good speech. You fight bad stuff with good stuff.
Good speech. I mean,
I do want to give some heads up. Elon Muskrat's you smell so bad says, I don't think Zuck is a practicing Jew. And Larson Victoria said, you mean not a practicing human?
Good
Zuckerberg
speech
is an android.
Yeah, proven here.
I am not capable of hatred.
That's directly quoted by Zuckerberg before he was Zuckerberg. The robot. But yeah, I just think that this is it's that crackdown. That's the boiling kettle, slowly heating up. It's sort of that whole thing. And
and if you wanna consider the danger of Holocaust denying, besides anti-Semitism, which I think the point makes the point stands. The anti-Semitism point stands. But also when you think about World War II was this country's biggest war ever. I mean, it was like the biggest war in the history of human beings.
Right. A lot of it is.
If the denial of the Holocaust, then makes the biggest war ever, kind of takes the stilts out from under it.
Oh, kind of like the reason why we went into Vietnam, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, like that. Is that what you're talking about? Or
no. I'm not going down this trap.
Declassified, bro.
Oh no, I agree with you on the Gulf of Tonkin. Yeah, but that's what they're trying to avoid.
The other thing that's weird is that they were tying this into the election, which I thought, or at least in this article, weren't they? They were talking about the election.
Of course it is. It all has to be tied in with the Orange Man bad thing.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't make any sense that banning this info would not necessarily hurt Trump or help Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe
I don't know either.
It's just weird. I don't know what it is, but it's one of those stories where we're just tracking the progress here of Facebook. There are people on social media also saying that, hey, and this is a common argument you hear, they're a private company, they can do whatever they want. And people will say like, no, this is totalitarian on the part of Facebook. And people will say, well, they're a company, they're not the government. And of course the argument back is like, I think some of these tech companies have more power than the government in terms of influence, in terms of information, maybe not policy per se, but at least like culturally.
I would say probably with policy as well.
Well, yeah,
there's a reason why
too.
these big tech companies don't pay any taxes.
Well, sure, yeah, but I guess more. I guess the route to it is more of a cultural route than it is like a direct. Hey, we're going to make some laws as the government, are supposed to do.
Well, I think the biggest thing with this story is that it is the first big step in censorship of nonviolent information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Nonviolent speech.
Yeah. The claim that there was violence is wrong. You are a violent protester. We will shut you down.
Well, see that. And this is a really difficult conversation to have, especially live, because, I mean, in no way do I want to say, dang it, Zuckerberg, let everybody put their Holocaust denial online, you Nazi. There's no way on earth I'm going to be saying that. And, like I said, Holocaust denial info has almost nothing to do with stuff I come in contact with. But so I would say safely, the one big thing about this story is that it is the first big step into banning speech that is not inciting violence.
Yeah, and there's nothing necessarily illegal about Holocaust denial type of posts, but
not necessarily. Not unless you're in Germany.
Oh yeah, well yeah, you're right.
Holocaust, you will go to prison in Germany for Holocaust denial.
Yeah. It reminds me of the
very disciplined folk over there.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Jim Gaffigan joke. Have you heard that joke about Germany?
No,
maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't Jim Gaffigan. It was Norm Macdonald. Had a joke about how he's not worried about North Korea or the Middle East. He's more worried about Germany, on the account that in during World War I, Germany went to war against the world, and then they lost, and then a few years later, Germany came back and went to war against the world again. and so he's joking, but also
that's a good joke.
Kind of a true statement,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who knows what those crazy guys were thinking over there. But anyways, anything else on this, Gonzo?
No, just wanted to touch base because he's one of the four horsemen, and we got to keep an eye on the horsemen of the technocalypse, which we've labeled Mark Zuckerberg to be one. So,
yeah. All right. Well, I say we take a short little break here.
It's break time. Come on, take a break.
Okie dokie, folks. We're just going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because after the break, we've got some Space Pope reptilian news. We've got what is this? A demon doll. Something about a demon doll. Wow, don't miss any of this. A bunch of news after the break. So don't go anywhere. We just want to take a quick second to thank our new producers as well as some new Twitch followers.
Very good.
So, Gons.
Yes.
Are you ready to hear about our new favorite Twitch followers?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I think it's a pretty short list here and some repeats, so let's go through. First of all, we've got X, That Blaze X.
Looks familiar. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. And so does this one, Hairy Legs Joe. I think this list is messed up, man. They're messing with me. One Rising Storm 1. Duke of Goat Hill. Brutal Dawn. Art to Craft. And lastly, Now Bleed. Thank you very much to our new Twitch followers. We recommend that everybody follow us on Twitch. You should, and if not Twitch, follow us on multiple platforms. It's not uncommon for notifications to not go out on certain platforms. Cough, cough, YouTube, cough, cough. So if you want to make sure to get the notifications and not miss an episode, one great place to do that is by following us on Twitch, turning on notifications. It's a good time, folks, so make sure to do that. Next, I want to thank some of our new producers.
Ooh.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we are on the value for value model. That's right. That you might notice that we do not read any ads at the beginning, middle, or end of this show. And some people are uncomfortable with that. You know, the ads, they make them feel safe and they make them feel informed and that they can trust what their podcasters say because Swiffer Wetjet approves of this message. Not here, folks. This is the Wild West. We decided a while back that advertising really is an evil industry, and for a few reasons. Number one, accepting advertising dollars then puts pressure on the content producers to be brand safe, which means you can't talk about things because it will misrepresent the brand. And we decided, you know what? It's not our job to represent Swiffer or Tide or anything like that. Yeah. It's our job to represent our exploration of the truth, analysis of the news, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one reason. The other reason is, advertising is all wrapped up with this big data nonsense and incentivizes guys like Gons and I to consider you, dear listener, a commodity, cattle to be packed up and shipped off for our own personal gain. And that didn't feel right either. It feels much better considering you, our listeners, to be, human beings with consciousness and lives of your own. You're not just a commodity for Gons and I to trade away for fiat currency. So instead, we work on the value for value model, which is we put out the show. We do it for free. We do it consistently, and we like to think we do a pretty good job. And if you gain any value out of this show, whether it's entertainment or education or analysis or whatever, just I don't know, the art. A lot of people just come here for the art, Gons. I don't know if you knew this or not, but so whatever it is, if you gain any value out of this show and you want the show to continue, it is now up to you to put some value back into the system, and that can take many forms. Soon I'll read you a list of our new financial producers, but there's also art, jingles, lots of content creation done by our producers, and that's you. That could be you. So now, remember, this is the real world. So if, much like many entertainment industries, if you help pay for a piece of media to be created, you are a producer. And that's not just a cute title. You can put that on your LinkedIn, put that on your resume, whatever it is. Give them our email. We will vouch for you. So there you go. Gons, are you ready to thank some of these producers?
Ready to go.
That's gone speak for yes, sirree, Bob. First of all, I want to let you know about patreon.com/CCNT. It's one of the easiest ways to help out the show. Patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk. And over there we had one producer come in before the show, and that was producer The Gilded Gourd.
The Gilded Gourd.
The Gilded Gourd. Thank you very much, The Gilded Gourd. And during the show, we had an upgraded producer who is producer Jan. Thank you very much, Jan.
Thank you, Jan.
My goodness. We're always very excited about people upgrading their producership. It's hard enough to get people to become a producer. It's even harder to get them to upgrade. And Jan, you are constantly surprising us with your generosity by increasing your pledge to support the show. So thank you, producer Jan, and thank you, producer The Gilded Gourd. Next, I'm heading over to patreon.com/CanaryCryRadio. That's patreon.com/CanaryCryRadio. And just again, for any new people, you are listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Canary Cry Radio is our interview show that we haven't put an episode out recently, but don't worry, folks. We've got some in the can that we're working on getting out for you. And we have a new producer over there, and that is producer Aiden. It's either producer Aiden or producer Aidan.
Aiden. I think it's Aiden, but
yeah,
it could be Aidan.
Very, very unique spelling. So apologies if one of those pronunciations is not correct, but thank you very much, producer Aiden, producer Aidan. Now, lastly, if you don't like Patreon, that's okay. A lot of people don't like Patreon, and we respect your choices. We're all about freedom here. And in that case, you can head over to CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. CanaryCryRadio.com/support. We've got other options for ways to support the show. One of them is PayPal. You can come in, produce the show on a monthly basis through PayPal, or if commitment is not your thing, a one-time producership in any amount. And Gons, who do we have coming in on the PayPal?
We have a good handful, especially coming in last minute as we started the show.
Yeah, the last three there came in during the show.
Yeah, so the first one is labeled Exodus, a.k.a. Bush Protector 75 plus 3318.
Yes, okay.
Or 108.
So
108. Yeah, 108.
Yes. So last episode, we had a question because we had a producer send in it was Bush Protector here, sent in a number, 108. I think it was $10 and
yeah.
$10.80, 108. And I was wondering what the significance of that number was. And they let us know, not by emailing us, but by changing the name on their PayPal to reflect the math, which is 75, which is the tax Trump donation.
Right.
In this case, $7.50, plus 33.
33, yeah.
Which was $3 and yes, which they did the math and came out to $10.80. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Very good.
There we go. We got the math.
We got the math. We got it. We did it. We figured it out. So thank you, Exodus, a.k.a. Bush Protector 75 plus 33 or 108. You should see the way he wrote this. This is one long...
He got very creative.
Yeah.
He made it work, though. He got the message across.
Yeah, it was like good enough for us to decipher.
It was a secret cipher instead of just sending us an email.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. We like it. Also, thank you to producer Vicky. Thank you, producer Vicky, coming in $33. And
thank you very much.
A few cents there. I don't know if there's any significance to the cent amount.
Yes,
nice.
There is, but I will tell you after this next one.
Oh, okay. Next up, William.
Producer William.
Coming in at the combination, $75.33.
Yeah, 75 for the Trump tax donation and the 33 for the 33 producer.
Yes.
And it took me a while to figure it out, but I think Vicky and William, maybe they were communicating, because Vicky's donation plus William's donation equals $100 exactly.
Oh, interesting. I also know that it's not the two you mentioned there in combination, but two of the producers that we've mentioned so far from all of the producer financial supporters is a couple. So I do know that.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Okay.
Secret stuff. Also, thank you to Brian, producer Brian.
Thank you very much, producer Brian.
Your producership. And we also have CanaryCryRadio.com/crypto. We don't have any new cryptocurrency gifts as of right now, which is okay. We understand. It's new. It's different. It's some people think it's the mark. I mean, we get it. It's not the mark, folks. At least not yet. Also, no nights or dames today. Another way you can help support the show with your producership is with your talent. And of course, we ask for jingles, for music, and your art. And first off, I'd like to play a handful of jingles and even a song that was sent in. We're going to start with producer Johnny Trappleseed. And you can find Johnny Trappleseed's collection of work over at soundcloud.com/Johnny Trappleseed.
May I translate for the older folk from the young folk?
Sure,
obviously this is play on Johnny Appleseed, but trap music is a type of electronic music for those who don't get the reference.
Yes, and again, that's soundcloud.com/Johnny Trappleseed, JONNY TRAPPLESEED. And he first sent us, a song called Pharmakia, and there's an ISO from that song. Should we play the whole song now? Do you want to do the...
It's pretty short, isn't it?
It's a minute 20.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yes, let's do it.
There's a good punchline.
30 seconds.
Well, there's a good punchline at the end, so maybe we play the whole thing.
Yeah, we got a minute and 20 to spare.
And this is this might trigger some listeners, but we promise it's not an advocate for the things that we mention. It is in context to the whole show here. So here we go. Pharmakia by Johnny Trappleseed.
Do pot. That's where I started.
Light up a huge blunt.
A joint.
Give everybody
magic mushrooms.
Smoke.
The CIA, lots of intelligence agencies have tested secretly dosing communities.
LSD.
Psychoactive pills should be covertly administered. Just put me on some, I don't know.
You shot in the butt.
Fluoride.
Oxytocin.
Get a chemical hug.
I did dabble, some of that robot crack. I know what it's like.
It's a lethal recipe for disaster. You need help.
If you're a pharmacist, you need to repent.
All right, weird.
If you're a pharmacist, you need to repent. Thank you very much, Johnny Trappleseed. And yes, that included some very specific sound bites.
Yes.
Smoke a huge blunt. Mushrooms. We obviously talk a lot about pharmakia throughout certain episodes, but this piece features Basil and Gons, as well as guest stars Dr. Michael S. Heiser and Hamish the Illusion Patterson. Please enjoy. We did enjoy Johnny Trappleseed. Thank you very much.
And what's great about it is we do have an ISO that we can use for pharmakia-related stories.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, that's good. What was the robot crack comment that you made? Do you remember that?
I don't remember. It's probably some Flippy thing that I was just riffing on, and then See, we got to be careful what we say here, Basil. It's live. You know.
We joke that you could clip a lot of the stuff we say and make it sound bad. I like the clip of me saying sparking up a huge blunt. I sound like such a dork. Like I've never, like sparking up a huge blunt.
All right, so that was fantastic. Great work there, Johnny Trappleseed. We appreciate it, and so there you go. That's one way to really take content from our show and make content for our show.
That's right.
It's a cyclical thing. It's a big circle. All right, next up we have producer Andreas, who came with a couple ISOs.
All right,
a couple good ones. I think these are they're almost like. I don't know. We need these for certain points of the conversation. Here's a classic.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Game over, man. Do you remember what movie that was from?
No.
I'm trying to find the email because I think.
Oh, is it from the same movie as the other one? It's Burn After Reading.
Was it Burn After
Yeah, it
Reading?
was
They're both?
Yep, it was I don't know if they both were, but the next one is from Burn After Reading. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Where is the email?
Aliens. It's from Aliens. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. No, I know that line. It's from an Alien movie, though, isn't it?
Okay. I don't know. I don't recognize that one. But
Okay. I remember it from my youth. Game over. We used to say that on the playground, Game over, man. Yeah, so. Bill Paxton on Aliens. In Aliens.
Yes,
There you go.
you're
Thank
right.
you,
Okay,
Carolyn
there we go.
Nunez. And also, the Russians.
The Russians? Yeah. The Russians? Yeah.
That's from Burn After Reading. That
Yes.
was a pretty funny movie. Coen
good
Brothers
one.
movie.
Good
The
one.
Russians?
The
Yeah.
Russians?
The Russians. That's kind of how I felt. I don't know if you remember this, Gons. I don't know if anybody remembers this at this point, but it was back in 2016 when they first started vilifying the Russians again.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed, I mean, now it's obvious we do that all the time. We're kind of used to it. But back in 2015, 2016, when the re-vilification of the Russians started up, that was kind of how I felt. It was like suddenly like, oh, who don't we like now? The Russians? Yeah. The Russians. Yeah. It's like, okay, we're supposed to be all Cold War-y again? Okay, if you say so.
Well, we're in the second Cold War, so of course we have to.
Apparently.
We have to talk about that.
So thank you, Andrea, for those
I think it's Andreas.
ISOs. Andreas?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Andreas.
Thank you, Andreas. Great producer. And also we have one more from producer Michael, and this is titled Nothing to See Here.
That sounds like that scene from Naked Gun, or
I
one of
think
the
so.
Naked Guns.
Yeah, it could be. I didn't.
Nothing to see here, and the building's like exploding, and people flying around everywhere behind them. Go about your day.
Right. That's sort of the current situation of our country. Isn't it interesting
That's our
how
every day now?
Yeah. Interesting how movies basically wrote the script for our reality today.
Oh, we knew that.
We knew it. We knew it. Okay, so thank you, producer Michael. Did all of the jingles and ISOs and music, and I added Pharmakia at the end of the show for the playlists. We will not be complete with thanking our producers without showing some art.
One art, please.
Yay!
And once again,
we have people in the chat just begging for art, Guns. We're finally there, folks.
We did it. We made it. First, I'm going to start with our prolific artist, Allie. She came in today with Cat Burglars. This is incredible, Basil. I mean, she takes moments of the show that are, just like kind of a... and she'll just make an entire with it. It's incredible how she does this.
Yes.
It looks like we're dropping out here, which is really too bad.
Yeah, I'm watching the Twitch stream, and it is, it is hurting. But we'll wait a second before we get too deep. But yes, so here we go. We've got Allie's art up here. What did she call it? Cat Burglars. I mentioned there was a story. I forget which story it was, but it had a picture of a few guys in the White House, very dramatic looking, and behind them was this epic painting of Teddy Roosevelt riding a horse with a gold frame. And I was trying to recruit my Nicolas Cage National Treasure team to steal it from the White House.
Right.
And Allie came through. The cats. Why didn't I think about this? I got Cat Burglars ready to go. We've got a great rendition of the painting.
Oh, the paint! Yeah, that's what's incredible.
Great.
It's like the painting itself is almost, or her drawing of the painting is better than the painting.
I know. And then, yes, and we've got Monty, it looks like Monty 2 and Monty 3 maybe. They're up there on the banister and on this little table thing, and they are trying to figure out how to get this painting out of the White House without getting caught by the Orange Man. And Monty 3's there saying, how do we move it? That's a good question, kittens. You don't even have thumbs, but if anybody could do it, the cat burglars can. Thank you very much, producer Allie Gazelinbond, impressing us all.
Impressive, and always a show reference. You got to listen to the show to get Allie's art. That's basic fact.
Yes.
So thank you, producer Allie.
And that's just how I like it, too.
And that's exactly how we like it. And it's rewarding for the people that really do listen to the show. It just adds, just more depth to everything we do here.
Yes.
Next up,
of course, watch live.
Yes. We have Yvonne coming up with another hand-drawn art here. This one's called Above, Below, Reverse. And the idea here is, did
you get the second email?
Was there another? I think this is the second one. Or is it different? I think this is the...
Hold on, let me pull it up. We just want to make sure that we are correct with our artists' stuff here. Looking for it. Cannot find it. I think the name got changed.
Oh, is it good versus, or one fight good versus evil? Or above, below?
Yes.
Okay, one fight good versus
please
evil.
Use this one fight good versus evil. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big goat demon looking fella. And
good looking, good nasty looking Baphomet.
Yeah, Baphomet, and then an angel with a sword going up against him. So there you go. And it kind of reminds me of, do you remember the NDE episode we did?
The what?
Time ago? The NDE
episode?
The
near death experience episode.
Yeah, we took someone's story and we, made an audio drama of the story as it was being told, and it kind of reminded me of that, what the guy experienced in his near-death experience.
He talked about seeing giant demons and stuff.
Yeah, and even an angelic figure sort of coming to help and stuff like that. So yeah, it's...
Sometimes I wonder if we should repost some of those episodes.
Yeah, that's so NPR.
I mean, that was a total... I know. Well, we could at least post it on social so people can find it easy.
That's true. We should do that, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
all right.
Need to be doing more.
So thank you, Yvonne. That's a great art.
Very good, Yvonne. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And next up, this is the one we owe from last episode. This is done by Mark. And this is basically the Canary Cry logo. And I'm going to mute the chat for a moment there on the screen. International Canary Cry News Talk. And basically, it's the Canary Cry News Talk logo, except all the flags of the nation, super New World Order, one world government-ish, except...
Yeah, I was going to say... This was regarding last episode or 2 episodes ago when we had... the International Canary Cry News Talk crowd was showing up, man. Everybody was posting where they're from. They're all over the place.
Yeah, and so to reflect the worldwide family of listeners... Mark came up with a logo with that represents all the countries out there via flags.
Canary Cry News Talk, your place for globalization.
Yeah. So
I like it. International Canary Cry News Talk. We truly are an international family now.
We are. There's so many listeners from so many different places on this pancake donut.
Hollow pancake
Hollow
donut.
Pancake donut. That's right.
Thank you very much, Producer Mark.
Thank you, Producer Mark.
Sorry it took a couple extra episodes to get it up.
Yeah, I apologize for that. It just slipped through. There's a lot of art coming in, and it's half my prep time is just prepping the art now. The jingles.
Worth it.
Yeah, definitely. This one's from 88. Here's another one. Another great handwritten or hand-drawn piece here. This piece is called If Not Good News, Then Not Chinese News, I think. Something like that. Did I get that right? It's not good news. It's not Chinese news. That's what I wrote. Hold on, it could be.
It's not good news if it's not Chinese news.
Okay, there you go. That's
Hold
right.
on,
So
I'm
I was
trying
right
to pull it up
time.
again.
But it's basically Basil.
If it's not good news, then it is not Chinese news.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's Basil in canary form, in cartoon canary form. He's got his red communist red phone, his googly eyes with his shifty eyes there. He's got the communist.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I had to wait for the Twitch stream to catch up.
You haven't seen this one yet?
I hadn't seen this
one. Oh, okay. You got the communist hat, a cigarette falling out of his mouth, a Band-Aid on his nose.
Yeah, this is great. Wow, there's a rocket ship with a Chinese flag on it, with the moon with the Chinese flag. We got some drones.
Yeah,
a bat. We got the Corona bat up there.
Well, the moon has the CCP flag. It's not exactly a
Yes.
Chinese flag, but same thing, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, some drones, some bat, a bat that's
It's the bat.
the bat that says cough cough. Get it? The Ronas.
Then my little speech bubble says, "Hello? Yes, this is Chinese news." Gosh, this one is great. Good job, 88.
Yeah, this is really, it represents the jingle, the Chinese news jingle in art form. It's quite remarkable.
It really is. It captures the spirit of the Chinese news jingle. And I've got my giant googly eyes, although they are a little bit more humanized. My pupils are facing different directions, so it's legit.
Yeah, let me see if I have the Chinese news jingle. I made a few of them, and I don't remember which one we went with. They're too long. Some of these are too long, which means they're not the right ones. Let me see here. All right, I'm gonna go for it with one of them.
I just love looking at it, man.
Welcome to Chinese.
Wow, man.
And we're allowed to make fun of them.
I love showing these off.
Yeah,
all the
great.
art. I love showing off all the art.
So good job, 88. Thank you for that. And I believe we have one more from Incarnate Unlimited.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always impressive to see his hand work there. This is a picture that is drawn of Basil, like a real life. It's like a real life.
My week, man.
I know, it's all about Basil this week.
I like it.
And it's a hand drawn of Basil, his hand over the mouth.
This is my Twitter profile picture, which is my currently the most accurate picture of me. And it's me with my headset on and got my hand over my mouth there for all sorts of metaphorical reasons. And yeah, Incarnate Unlimited, as usual, very talented. I've seen him in the chat, or them. I'm actually not sure if it's a man or a woman. But I've seen them in the chat talking about how they and I don't want to misrepresent. So if I'm misrepresenting, please excuse me. But they kind of have talked about how they don't like really drawing much anymore. But whenever they do, it's amazing. They did your portrait, which was fantastic, and now I'm so happy to have my very own Incarnate Unlimited portrait.
And he's in the
thank
chat.
you very much.
He's in the chat. He says, respecting your anonymity. So
I appreciate that, Incarnate. Thank you so much. Yeah, very good. Very talented.
Very nice.
And a great rendition of my Twitter profile pic.
Yeah, good job, Incarnate Unlimited, who was also he sang during something I watched when I was a kid, Metallica, live on MTV. Yeah, he Creeping Death.
He's a cool guy.
Looked
cool
good.
guy,
Sounded
man.
great.
All right.
High five to James Hetfield. I'm jealous. All right. That's all the artwork for today. Thank you, all the producers, with your time, talent, or treasure. I like that. It's a straight rip from Adam Curry, but hey, it makes sense. Time, treasure, and talent. And that really is the value for value model on full display here. I know it's a little bit of a longer break, but we have more producers coming in with great stuff. And And so, yeah, we appreciate it. And thank you so much to all the producers out there.
That's right. And remember, you can be a producer for next episode, which will be on Wednesday, the 14th, sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to make sure to thank producer That Night Wind for the timestamps. They are responsible for. Do you know That Night Wind? Is it a man or a woman?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That Night Wind. Thank you very much for giving us those timestamps. For all you YouTube viewers, you can use the timestamps to navigate the episode after the live stream, so you don't have to listen to all the nonsense. You can jump back and forth from topic to topic. It's topic based. So if you hear something on the show and you want to remember how to get to it, check the YouTube video that is posted after the live show, and you can jump around and share those time codes with your friends. Anything else, Guns?
Just a quick mention of CanaryCryMerchPerch.com.
Yes. Yes, we need to get some more of this art up there on the Merch Perch.
Yeah, there's a lot of content.
Yes, the Canary Cry Merch Perch from producer Dust put it together. Everything is sold at cost. But then you'll have options to tip either Gonz and I or the artist or the webmaster. And I highly recommend, remember, you're getting the items at cost. So if you don't tip anybody, that's okay. But I would highly recommend doing that because there are costs associated with running the website and stuff that producer Dust has so graciously taken on. So help him pay for it. And then also artists and us can get a cut too. That's all on CanaryCryMerchPerch.com. Make sure to go there. All right. And remember to become a producer, like I said, for next show on Wednesday, the 14th. And you can do that at patreon.com/CCNT or CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. I think it's time to wake on up, Gons.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Wake up.
Right.
So
wake on up.
Analogical.
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 What do you think? You want me to take this one here? We'll start us off.
Yeah, do it. It's kind of a creepy story, a couple of creepy stories, but
oh, great.
Sure.
Now I see why you want me to read this one.
Read it.
Space Pope Reptilian.
Oh gosh. Mature content warning for young listeners. I'll give parents a moment to demand earmuffs if that is what must be demanded, but you have been disclaimed. This is from Insider.com. The Archbishop of New Orleans orders a church altar to be burned after a pastor was caught in a demonic sexual act.
Burn it all.
Whoa. This is interesting. Okay, so we're talking about Archbishop. I'm assuming this is Catholic, but then it mentions pastor, which is not a Catholic term. But let's see what the article has to say. A Louisiana pastor caught filming himself in a sexual act with two women on a church altar has been denounced by the New Orleans Archbishop, who called his actions demonic. Archbishop Gregory Amond said on Friday that he has ordered the altar to be removed and burned, and that the pastor, Travis Clark, dropping names, will never again serve in Catholic ministry. Amond called Clark's actions deplorable and demonic in a video statement published by the Archdiocese on Friday. Quote, "I am infuriated by his actions." No kidding. "When the details became clear, we had the altar removed and burned. I will consecrate a new altar tomorrow," Amond said, according to Catholic news agency CNA. Clark was arrested on September 30th along with the two dominatrices. Oh, okay, the plot thickens. Clark was arrested on September 30th along with the two dominatrices in Saints Peter and Paul Roman Catholic Church in Pearl River. The three were discovered by a passerby who saw that the church lights were on later than usual. The altar had been fitted with stage lighting and several cameras, according to local reports. Wow, they really put a lot of A lot of production into this. Along with the two women, Clark was charged with public obscenity, a felony in Louisiana that carries a sentence as high as 3 years in prison. He has been removed from the ministry. Lady V, one of the two dominatrices involved in the act, dominatrices, I guess that's the plural of dominatrix. Huh. Wrote in a statement posted on Twitter on Saturday that all parties involved in the act were consenting adults. Quote, I understand that people may be upset by this situation, but that does not make this conduct illegal or criminal in any way. I would implore anyone seeking to pass judgment or direct their energy elsewhere, she wrote, adding that this is regrettable that she is being presented to the world as a criminal. Clark was ordained in 2013 and became the pastor of Saints Peter and Paul Church in 2019. Oh, he's only had the job for a year. Oh, no. Last month, a former priest in the same church, Pat Whittigney, reportedly told Archbishop Amend that he had sent inappropriate texts to a local high school student where he had been chaplain, according to a NOLA.com report. Oof, this church is having problems, man. Quote, what has happened concerning Pat Whittingley and Travis Clark is unacceptable. It's sin and it cannot be tolerated. Amen said in a video statement, quote, let me be clear. Both were removed from the ministry immediately and will never serve again in Catholic ministry. Whew, hallelujah. Ooh. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those it's disturbing on one end, but also, you know, this type of thing happens well, maybe not to this explicit sense here, but it's one of those things where it's happened to churches more than you'd think, I think. Maybe not the explicit act here, but this type of, pastors and stuff finding themselves in a situation that's less than appropriate, if you will.
Oh, you're certainly putting it kindly.
Yeah.
I'm getting a message from the chat. Crystal on YouTube. Pastor means he's in charge of that church. I was unaware that Catholics had a pastor position. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, Crystal, but I guess they do.
Yeah, I was looking at the hierarchy of the Catholic Church just to sort of see, what level some of these people are at. And according to this chart here, it's like a pyramid shape here. The Pope,
fancy that.
Yeah, the Pope is at the top, then cardinals, then archbishops, then bishops, then priests, then deacons, then the laity. And I don't see pastor on there. But maybe that's, depending on.
Yeah, and the reason I bring it into question is because it would not be out of the question for, a secular outlet like Insider to get pastor and priest confused. But maybe they're, I don't know. But whatever it is, they're reporting it as pastor. I guess it's not the most important detail, but.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I want to know in terms of the situation here, because obviously the obvious thing to do is to kick this guy out and say you will never serve in the Catholic Church and whatever. But is there anything to help people like this, or to point them in the right direction in terms of healing or anything like that, or is it just like, get out of here, you're done, you're banned?
Well, probably not. The problem here is of course, look, I'm not here telling anybody I'm not here trying to tell anybody how to spend their free time. But what I am saying is, he obviously put a lot of energy into making this night happen and produced a whole thing and paid for the dominatrixes. This was a planned event. And of course, if you get busted, it's going to be a big deal. This wasn't like, oops, I don't know how this happened. I just fell into temptation at a moment's notice.
Well, that's the other part.
You spent a bunch of money and a bunch of time planning this.
And technology.
Because you obviously wanted to make a video that was probably going to go on the internet and do a whole thing. So, you know.
So the other part of this is I don't want to, allow this archbishop off the hook either. How are you bringing in people?
Allegedly, this would be the guy who hired these
That's
two
what I'm saying.
consecutive people.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the discernment of
Right.
hiring people into your church if they're like, within a year, they're like, hey, I got an idea. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I mean,
Yeah.
it's just,
Well, of
I'm not
course,
letting
the
him off the
Catholic
hook.
Church is not necessarily famous for their good judgment in
Especially this kind of stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so pretty disturbing. And, yeah, you know, the church you and I met at, Basil, there was a lot of drama before we ever showed up to the church. I don't know
No,
if
I
you ever
didn't know
knew,
that.
but there was big drama with homosexual acts in certain parts of the church. And it's the reason why every office in that church, Basil, had windows.
Oh, that is very
It
interesting.
was a construction decision after the event took place.
Oh, that makes sense. I always thought there was a lot of windows in that place.
Yeah. So again, it's you know, it happens.
really made it hard for me to take naps on the job.
Should I tell people where you took naps? I remember you took a nap.
I took many naps.
I think you've mentioned publicly you were in a tech
The
closet.
closet one?
Yeah.
Yes. I had a very scary
Sleep
paralysis incident in that closet.
I know,
And
during a service.
And I never took a nap in that closet again. I was terrified.
I know. It happened to be right under the pews too.
Yeah.
If you wanna call
Yeah,
it
that
pews.
was spooky.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thought I would
Well,
bring in the
and
creepies.
That is definitely creepy. And I think, you know, I don't know this archbishop. I have no interest in defending anybody involved in this, but he certainly made a political decision to take out the altar and burn it because certainly nobody in the congregation could ever look at that altar the same way ever again.
I understand. Yeah, for sure, that's true, especially now that it's gone public. But also, it still feels like to me, and this is just my opinion, just be very clear, that a lot of that was kind of staging to make it seem like I had no idea, I'm totally innocent in this. But you know, anybody looking from afar is like, dude, why are you hiring people like this over and over again?
And
it seems to be a pattern.
I mean, and you really don't know. Again, putting on the tinfoil hat with the track record of the Catholic Church, who knows? He could have known about it and and then got caught.
Maybe he ordered for the whole thing to be made and then he got caught. So now he's got to throw his poor pastor there under the bus.
Yeah. Well, I
burn
don't
the
want
altar.
I don't want to unnecessarily burn any of or I guess burn is not the right word in this context, but unnecessarily, you know, chastise any Catholics. We do have Catholics who do listen to the show, but and through all this disclaimers, I forgot what I was going to say. I got
You got
so
lost
wrapped
in the
up. I got
disclaimers.
so lost in
That's how they
trying
get
to.
you.
Yeah,
You were going
I
to
know.
say something about you don't want to burn, but you didn't want to use burn because it wasn't the right context.
It's just, yeah. Oh, I was just going to mention that the Catholic Church has many business interests, and who knows, maybe online content creation is one of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's one of those creepy stories, but not as creepy, well, maybe just as creepy as this next and final story here.
Demonic power!
This is
short and sweet.
Short and sweet. This is dailypost.co.uk. A lot of UK news today. Doll possessed by demons cried real tears after paranormal investigation at North Wales bar. And it says here, a haunted doll believed to be possessed by demons started crying freshwater tears at a ghost hunt in a Wrexham bar. Paranormal investigator Matt Tillett, who carried out an inspection at a hideout bar on Town Hill this week, said he couldn't explain the phenomenon that has recently been happening to the doll regularly. The creepy toy, named Annie, is claimed to have been possessed by a malevolent being, which Matt says helps bring forward spirits and activity on investigations. At his most recent investigation at Hideout, he claims to have heard a ghost screaming, the sound of children running around, and made communications with a 170-year-old cobbler. But Matt's...
Okay.
Is a cobbler like a...
Spooky shoemaker.
But Matt said he does not understand what caused Annie to become upset during the ghost hunt. The doll that lives in a box and is fitted with paranormal equipment in the hope of proving there is life after death is now left with stains down the paintwork on her face as a result of her regular tears. Quote, recently, Annie has started crying for no reason. She has real tears, Matt said.
Poor Annie.
I've had her for over a year now, and it's the first time she's had real tears. I can't explain it. It's been happening since I've put her in a new enclosure. Well, maybe she doesn't like the new enclosure. Have you thought about that, buddy? I've sent it to demonologists, and they've suggested it could be one of the demons crying because they're trapped in a box and they can't get out.
Yeah. Okay.
When we were at the
I'm not sure why a demon. Why would it? If a demon's gonna possess anything, why a doll?
Yeah.
Why not something that can move?
Well, that might not be up to the demon. If you look at the biblical angle on images that are possessed and stuff like that, they invoked the gods into certain images. So,
yeah, true dat.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's very convenient that during this spooky time, this bar just happens to have a display doll that happens to be haunted.
That's the other part of this, okay? What in the world is this ghost? I mean, I used to watch the paranormal investigator shows and whatnot. And by the way, the doll is very creepy.
It is
one of the creepiest looking spooky dolls ever.
I would say it's an intentionally creepy doll.
I mean, she just looks like a goth doll. But yeah, I remember a few years ago I used to watch some of these ghost hunting shows, and it got pretty redundant. It's like the same type of thing over and over again. It's like, hey, I heard a voice on the box, and
yeah, they're basically a procedural drama.
Right. But has it gotten so gimmicky that they're like, oh, I'm going to bring my possessed doll to all these investigations to find out what my demon ghost thinks of the haunted house.
Did they say that a 170-year-old cobbler has possessed the doll? Is that what I heard you say?
Let me read that one more time. No, they just made communication with a 170-year-old.
Oh,
cobbler.
There's more ghosts in
there are
the
lots
bar.
Of ghosts.
Okay. Spooky bar. I get it.
Bar. And the whole tear thing reminded me of a story. This is one of those older stories that we would never mention on Canary Cry News Talk because it's from like 2012 or something. But, oh gosh, giant climate change promise thing from TheGuardian.com.
Good.
This is TheGuardian.com from November 2012, 8 years ago. And the story, it says article is more than 7 years old. Jesus wept. Oh, it's bad plumbing. Indian rationalist targets miracles. And I won't read the story. Do you remember this story?
We read the story, right? It's the one about the statue of Jesus or Mary or someone, and they were crying, and people were coming from all over the world to get cried on by this statue.
I think people were trying to drink it.
Yeah.
And they were getting sick because they found out that it was
because it was wastewater.
It was wastewater
dripping from plumbing from upstairs.
So,
oh no.
So
how did they know it's real tears? Did somebody taste it? Is there a chemical analysis for human tears?
I don't know, but I will say one thing. The difference here with the statue tearing up is the statue is stationary. It's it's set in one place. So if it starts crying, it could be like a leak in the old pipe there. The demon doll crying, a little different situation, and maybe, I don't know, perspiration.
How did they do it?
Or, I don't know. I can't think of maybe the box makes it warm. Sweat the doll.
Who knows? Throw it in the fire with the altar. Just get it over with.
Here's what I think.
Demonic power.
That's what I think.
That's right. So we're coming towards the end of the show. Were you going to mention that Nephilim thing, or do we want to talk about it at all?
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. It wasn't as intense as it was first presented to us.
Let me pull it up on Twitter real quick, and let's just talk about it because other people might see it And did you looked into it a little bit?
I didn't have a chance to really dig in, but yeah.
Okay. Let's mention it and then we can dig into it for next time, just for a Nephilim update.
Okay, let's. All right, well, on the fly Nephilim update here.
Yeah, look at us go.
If I can find the jingle, that would be really helpful. The Nephilim update. No. Where is it? I can't find it.
Oh no! It wasn't prepared.
It wasn't.
You want me to do it live?
Yes. Anything for that. I can't find it, Basil.
Nephilim update.
Sinful generation!
Something like that, right?
Close enough.
Okay. I'm going to give you this picture. Do you have the picture? Do you need it?
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a second here. I'm trying to look for it. It basically...
I'm going to send it to you on Skype if that works for you.
Don't do it on Skype because then it'll ruin your video unless you're okay with ruining your video.
Where do you want it? You want it in the doc here? Let me throw
I'm
going to
go ahead and just find it because it's on my feed. I'm close to it.
Okay, Mr. Gons doesn't need any help from his good buddy Basil. Let's see if I can get it in there before you found it. Haha, got it in there. There it is. It's on the dock.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
I'm still looking for it.
It's down at the bottom. It's good radio. So we got a tweet. I do want to give a shout out because we appreciate having this drawn to our attention at Daggers9 on Twitter. Daggers with a Z9. Thank you very much for the tag in this. It was very interesting to explore. And allegedly, this is a list of Clinton email subject lines, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're currently trying to confirm.
But
initial investigation does not seem accurate.
So the tweet that went out says Hillary mentions the Nephilim and the burial ground of Gilgamesh in an email. That's the claim, and it has a screenshot there. And it says here, Denetra D. Senegar requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim.
Which would have been just delicious.
Oh, it would have been
fantastic.
Were
an email from Hillary.
Fantastic. But there's somebody here that said, I went to find them on the website, and those are not part of Hillary's emails collection. Those are FOIA requests by random people. Be careful. This is the kind of blunder the fake news uses to decredibilize us. So, again, I haven't gone to the website to really dig in myself and look for it. But it could be because it's dated. It's dated December 13th, 2018.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be the Clinton emails, even if it was. I mean, it's totally possible somebody mentioned this in a FOIA request, which obviously the government's not going to be like, oh, sure. Yeah. The burial chambers of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Here's all the documents.
That's not an email subject line or anything.
It doesn't look like it.
I think this is the name of the person, Denetra D. Senegar.
Yeah.
Was requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh and the location of his body and the location of a buried Nephilim.
Right.
The claim that this is Hillary emails has almost no accuracy to it.
Well, it's possible they went to a website that had the Hillary emails and then started clicking around, and then they found themselves in another spot.
Not to say that this person looks like a big Q person, the person who originally posted it, and they may have stumbled across it, yes, when they were looking for Hillary emails, maybe. But there's no indication to say that is what it was.
And also something to remember too. Even with like a lot of the WikiLeaks stuff that leaked with, because there were highlight emails, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe John Podesta said that, or
Right.
Hillary, invoked this or whatever it was. But there was a lot of stuff where it was just like somebody forwarding something to Hillary or somebody forwarding something to one of these political guys.
Sure, yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're like 100% for or that they're all into whatever was forwarded to them. So you got to just kind of use your discernment a little bit, and it's not. Again, we haven't done our due diligence on this, so maybe we'll come back on next episode and come up with the full report on what this is and why some people thought that Hillary mentioned Nephilim and the burial of Gilgamesh.
The delicious part about it is, of course, Hillary would
I
know.
It would be so
the
perfect.
Burial mound of Gilgamesh and the Nephilim.
It would it would be fantastic. But again, it's a little too perfect. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's a good chance to do a little bit of a review for new people or people who need a reminder, because Savage One says, "What the F is Gilgamesh? Isn't that the dude that attacked the Smurfs?"
It's possible. Gilgamesh is the Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the oldest stories that is that have been found from the Sumerian culture. It shadows or it reflects kind of the Noah's Ark story.
Yeah.
But it's told from a Sumerian point of view, so it's not the biblical story per se. But and the chat's mentioning how it relates to Nimrod.
Yeah,
and,
they've sort of theorized that Gilgamesh was sort of a mythological narrative of Nimrod, who is
I think connect. Yeah, and Gilgamesh was in the Epic of Gilgamesh. He's 1/3 God, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I have to look that up again. I haven't looked at the Gilgamesh stuff in a while, but I think he's like 1/3 God, and so he fits the whole biblical narrative of other entities being involved in our human lineage,
other Elohim,
and the idea of Nephilim, where they came from, and that whole weird side that the church doesn't like to talk about, because
the occultists have had have put a lot of attention into Nimrod or Gilgamesh specifically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sort of rituals that some famous occultists were involved with, trying to reawaken some of these guys.
It's a good thing that guys like Dr. Michael Heiser came around, because there were a lot of like ancient astronaut theorists and stuff like that. They attack the Bible and the biblical narrative using stuff like the Epic of Gilgamesh to say like, oh, the Noah story was just totally taken from the Epic of Gilgamesh. And, it's a twisting of what actually happened, which is Gilgamesh was a hybrid alien, Tsoukalos with his hair, saying everything's an alien. So, that whole sort of narrative. But, I will summarize it with this idea that the days we're living in were very much supposed to reflect the days of the past, as Jesus stated.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Just thought I'd close that out for you.
Is that how you... okay. It's always a little slower than the actual.
Oh, I need to pick it up next time.
Yeah, don't do it. It's okay.
No, next time.
Next time. All right.
Okay. All right. I think we did it. Did we do it?
Yes, we're way past. I got to get out of here.
We got to get out of here. We went
I have a pregnant wife at home.
Oh, shoot. We went way longer than we meant.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Here's the thing. Remember, we'll be back on Wednesday, the 14th, sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember to put it on your calendar, turn on notifications, follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/CanaryCryRadio. Don't miss a show. But if you do, remember to subscribe to Canary Cry News Talk on your podcast player. I want to remind everybody to leave ratings and reviews. And here's the best way to do it. Search Apple Podcasts, Canary Cry News Talk on whatever search platform you prefer. That'll bring you straight to our Apple Podcast podcast page. Great place to leave ratings and reviews. We got a couple in already this week, but I'm going to need more. I'm going to be reading reviews on Friday, my favorite time of the week. And we would really appreciate it if you left ratings and reviews. Not just for nothing. I mean, Gonz and I do read them, and it makes us feel good. And it's, it's a great little ego boost once in a while. But more importantly, we are out of control. The algorithms on iTunes, they suggest podcasts to other people. Whoa. And they have lists of the best podcasts in certain categories. And we have no control over that. That is all algorithms based on ratings and reviews. So you, dear listener, can be an integral part of the algorithms sharing the show to people who have never heard it before. Maybe get us back on that top 200 list. We've spent a lot of time on the top 200 list, but we need to get back there. And we can only do that if you leave ratings and reviews. So again, Google or DuckDuckGo or Bing or whatever you do, Apple Podcast, Canary Cry, News Talk, leave a rating and a review, please. Thank you very much. And remember, we'll need some more, some producers. We need producers for Wednesday's show. So it was a little bit spooky at the beginning of this show. A very short producer list. Luckily, we had some very kind producers come in during the show that saved us. But
hallelujah.
If you've been considering becoming a producer of the show, maybe now's your time. You can head to patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk. Or if you don't like Patreon, you can head to CanaryCryRadio.com/support. CanaryCryRadio.com/support. That's right. Head to CanaryCryRadio.com/support. Become a producer of the show. We've got monthly producerships, or if commitment's not your thing, you can make a one-time producership in any amount. Head on over there. There's also cryptocurrency and all sorts of other fun ways to help out the show. Now, remember, you can also become a producer with your talent. Are you a musician? Do you know your way around some sound editing software? Can you clip the show? Can you make it into a cool trap song like Johnny Trappleseed? Make sure to stick around for the Canary Cry mixtape at the end of the show. And or are you an artist? Can you create art based on the show? All those are ways that you can become a producer of Canary Cry News Talk. Send those in to CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com. Again, that's CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com. And we will premiere your very talented work on the show on Wednesday's show. So make sure to do that. Thank you to all of today's producers. Producer Gilded Gourd and Jan, producer Aiden, producer Exodus, producer William and Vicky, producer Brian. Thank you guys so much for helping out the show today. And also to our musicians, Johnny Trappleseed, Andreas, Michael, and to our artists, Yvonne, the famous Allie, Incarnate Unlimited, Mark, and 88. Thank you guys for helping out the show. Okay, lastly, you can help out the show by sharing it. Share it on your socials, share it on your Twitter. Let me see it, tag it, so I can come give it a like and help boost it for you. But other than that, you can help out the show by sharing the show. You've got friends and family who are starting to wake up to the fact that the world is not what it seems, and they're starting their own journey on their journey of truth. Or maybe you've got veteran truth seekers. Just share the show. Press the little share button. Maybe this episode, or find another episode that you enjoyed. Send it to them. And we will be happy to be a part of their truth-seeking journey. And if you need any other instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to them, you grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah, everybody. All right. One last time. Make sure to put it on your calendar. Wednesday, October 14th is the next episode, sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Time zones are important, folks. And again, please consider becoming a producer. Patreon.com/CCNT, etc., etc. Let me see. Am I missing anything, Gons?
I just want to say that we're still waiting for our listeners to help us take down Olstein.
You're going down, Olstein.
That's true. That is so true. He's
way ahead of us.
The big bosses, yeah. All right, folks. Thanks again for listening to this Canary Cry News Talk episode. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Bye-bye.
Look it up.
Burn it all.
Stop this progress before it is too late.
Son of a beastie.
Demonic power and melt those babies into candles.
Canaries in a cage.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
Fun fact, I believe it was another fun fact. Another fun fact.
Brings me back to my Screamo days.
From the can. DuPont, that's where I started.
Light up a huge blunt.
A joint.
Give everybody
Magic mushrooms.
smoke.
The CIA, I mean, lots of intelligence agencies have tested secretly dosing communities.
LSD.
Psychoactive pills should be covertly administered.
Just put me on some, I don't know.
You shot in the butt.
Fluoride.
Oxytocin.
Get a chemical hug.
I did dabble, some of that robot crack. I know what it's like.
It's a lethal recipe for disaster. You need help.
If you're a pharmacist, you need to repent.
All right, weird.
There's nothing to watch on my color TV. None of the snooze is what I want
See what's new, demonetization. Know what's this? To my surprise, I spot a big pair of googly eyes. Click on the video and turn up the sound. What is this gem that I have found?
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
People, I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo. I'll keep you safe and warm now in my people's zoo. You, yeah, you in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on.